World of Ability Podcast Network. My name is Emily Gulmer, and the podcast engineer here. We're excited to bring you another episode of the Aspie Bridge Show with Suzanne Plumley. Which is about, So, I'm going to pass it over to Suzanne to get us started.
All right. Thank you, Emily. I really appreciate your introduction. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Aspie Show. This is the Aspie Bridge, and I want to tell you that there's a very special purpose for it. But before we go there, with all the wonderful Aspie people in the world that are telling you what autism is, particularly at the level one position, the level one, which is formerly Asperger's, but now autism level one on the DCM-5, with all the wonderful people out there, such as Paul Micallef in Australia, and Sam in Europe, and Sarah Hendricks in the UK, and Temple Grandin, and a number of other wonderful people here in the US. You don't need another Aspie woman telling you what autism is. The special mission of the Aspie Bridge is to offer women who feel ashamed or victimized by whatever trauma or being part of the spectrum to help them walk back into society holding their head up with confidence and knowing that there are people on the other side that truly want to help them to become successful, to thrive instead of survive. Now, this week's guest, I'm going to tell you, is part of our series on housing. In the last couple of weeks, we talked about getting the job after going back over the bridge into society and getting a job and having an income. Well, now that you're over in society and you're earning some money, perhaps you've decided it's time to live independently. And last week, I talked about some of the different housing structures that you can choose from that will meet your sensory needs. Now, there are a lot of us that have different decisions on what we like and what we don't like. And for some of you, it may not be a sensory issue at all. It may be something different. Mostly, those of us who are on the spectrum have a very low tolerance to sound, to light, to audio processing skills, and touch and texture. So we're being very careful to be mindful of those sensitivities. But let me tell you, my great friend Jennifer Capaldo is here today on a recording because she's in training right now as part of my organization for more training to become a life consultant. But right now, she's going to tell you all about how to go into that new home, to have a happy, healthy, organized home, and find the peace within you so that you are going to be able to maintain that house with low stress and it will be peaceful. So, without further ado, let me bring on my recording so that you can enjoy Jennifer. And thank you very much. Hello, everyone. I have a special guest for you today. Her name is Jennifer Capaldo, and she is my bridge builder for Hearth and Home. What does that mean? That just means that I'm going to connect you with her, and she is going to make sure that your home environment is healthy in your head and in your heart and in your space. Jennifer, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you got interested in this being part of my bridge builders in this capacity?
Thank you so much for having me today, Suzanne. I'm very happy to be here to speak to and with your audience members. I am I am a life mastery consultant and coach, and I have a very special interest in hearth and home as an area of work because it is important to me to feel relaxed in my space. I think that where we dwell, where we live, it's ours, right? This is where we should feel relaxed. This is where we should feel comfortable. It's home. So the way we handle what is around us affects not just our space outside of us, but it affects our internal space as well, our minds and our hearts. So I understand that some of you are moving into new homes or new spaces, and we're going to talk today about storage and moving and how do you handle all of the things that are moving with you. I can appreciate how overwhelming it can feel to move and have to move all of your things from one space into another. And I find that as stressful as it is or feels, it can also be really, really exciting. As an adventure, you get to set up your new home, right? So there is this opportunity for you to let go of things that you don't need, that aren't going to serve you in your new space. Maybe, like I have in the past, maybe you still have a bunch of papers that you haven't done anything with that have no business going into your new home. Of course, there are certain personal documents and business documents that you want to keep a hold of for banking and such, but mail, you know, we can file away that mail in the circular file, which is the trash can. Or if you need to keep some of those pieces, it's okay, of course. I encourage I encourage you to have a space for, like, have a bag, let's say, for throw away, for discard, for items that you're going to donate, and the ones that you're going to keep. Those are your three options. Throw
Hmm.
away, donate, keep. Not, I need to think about this. There isn't a fourth bag. Because the more we think about it, well, it'll just go to our next place. So, yeah, so I encourage you to be really kind to yourself by making that kind of organizational decision. As you're going through your things and you're packing, am I going to keep this? Am I going to use this in a month? No. Have I used it in the last year? No. Do I even know what it is? No. And just go ahead, toss or donate if appropriate, right? So let's take essentials with us. So what's essential? Only you know that for sure for yourself because you are the one who knows yourself and knows your needs, right?
I was
Yes.
just going to interject quickly, if you don't mind. Um, when I'm starting to pack up
Hmm.
for a home, because I've moved 7 times, I told you that.
Yes.
What I found I would do is I packed the things I had to have first. And what that did is that made sure that those items were put in a secure place. What ends up happening is that by the time you start running out of steam for packing and you look around your cabinets and you see what's still in those, that makes it
Right.
really easy to get rid of that stuff because you're
Right.
tired of packing it. What do you think of that idea?
Well, I think if that works for you, that's a great idea. I know that some people can feel overwhelmed by the amount of packing and cleaning that there is to do. So I think that's a wonderful option. I think another option is to just start in one space and just take
Mhm.
care of that space. And I do really appreciate your offer there, Suzanne, of what works well for you. And I think that's a great idea. So start in one space. Where are the things that I need? Need, right? Pack those, okay?
Mhm.
And then you've got your throw away and donate, right? Uh,
Yes.
yeah,
Of
okay.
course.
Yeah. So when you come to your new space, I think it's a really wonderful thing to just assume that you're going to be there. Unpack everything. Don't leave any of your boxes still packed. A
Mhm.
little bit even. go ahead and take everything out, put it in its right place. So your dishes go in the cupboard you decide is for dishes, not just there, maybe some in the bathroom, maybe some in the bedroom. Go ahead and start with a nicely organized space. So just pile things in the cupboard. And I was just talking with Suzanne before the episode about this, but how many of us run into having lots and lots and lots of plastic containers to store food in, and mismatching lids. I have found for myself, it took a while to figure this out and actually do it, but I went to the dollar store and I got two different plastic bins that were larger that would one houses all of my plastic containers for food, and the other one houses all of the lids. Of course, the lid one is a bit smaller because it's not going to take up as much space. But that is a way that you can start to organize and keep things clear for you in your new space, or even in the space you're in right now. Yeah, you could go ahead
I
and do
was gonna just say that if you think you're gonna run out of cabinet space, get rectangular baskets. That some of them can have lids that go on them, but
yes,
now you're not having to put everything into a cabinet if it's in a pretty basket.
true enough, true enough. If you have space to put that pretty basket down, then it's pretty, and it'll add to the environment. So what a lovely suggestion. All right, so how do you decide when it's time to let go of something?
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. Is I
Oh,
have such a big collection of fabrics and everything.
mhm.
Sometimes want to keep it all. How do I decide?
I understand that. I have nails. I used to sell Color Street nails. They're little nail stickers, if you will. But I have lots of them and I haven't used them in years. And so it's time for me to sell those and just keep a couple that are really, really special to me. But you can sell your things. You can donate, you can gift them to somebody. But if you haven't worn a piece of clothing in a year, it's time for it to go away.
Mm-hmm.
It's time for it to go. Now, that isn't the same, like if you haven't, yeah, and I mean an entire year, because if you didn't wear a winter coat, particular winter coat that you have all winter long, you don't need 4 or 5 winter coats.
No.
You don't need one for every occasion of the winter, right? So, so I think it's about keeping things easy for us so that we don't have to overthink what's happening in the space, because then it's so easy to lose that sense of comfort in our home. So
Mm-hmm.
there's that the same kind of rule around clothing can go similarly for other things. For example, your cleaning supplies. And
Oh, yeah.
this includes things that you keep in the shower. How many of us have extra and extra and extra liquid soap bottles or shampoo bottles or
Lotions.
lotions upon
I
lotions.
stopped telling my family no more lotions for Christmas, please.
Yeah, so Um, if you haven't used it in a month, it doesn't belong there anymore. Now, especially the kind of cleaners that you use to clean your bathroom, your kitchen, if you can do we can do with one box or carrying case of, like something for the mirror, something for your sinks and tub, something for the toilet. I mean, you probably could do with 5 items in that
Yeah,
tote.
that's right. Wood. glass,
Right,
countertops,
right.
bleach items for this anything that might get stained, and maybe even a vinegar.
Yeah, you know, I keep a vinegar in my laundry area because it's really great to use in laundry. Like sometimes, I don't know about you, but every now and then I forget to handle my washcloths properly.
Oh yeah.
And they may not smell very good. If something doesn't smell very good coming out of the wash, even after you've dried it, not all is not lost. You can actually wash that again, not with bleach, but with a cup of vinegar and also some baking soda.
Uh,
Takes
oh yes, yes,
takes
yes.
the any kind of smell out of there. Baking soda also absorbs any kind of grease there might be, but both of those really help with disinfecting clothing or fabric items. So
I
that's
was
really
gonna
helpful,
say, on top of that, a lot of times what happens is if you throw something into your laundry chute or your laundry basket and it's not dry, everything else is gonna smell too. Make
right?
sure you do not put anything into your hamper, especially washcloths,
Right,
especially towels. And even that shirt that may have gotten water on it while you were washing dishes, anything wet is a no-no in that basket because it's going to make everything smell.
right.
And if you're not very diligent about doing your laundry every single week, no.
Yeah.
Keep going, Jennifer. I'm loving these ideas. Keep
Oh,
going.
thank you. So we have books, right? So they're books. What do you do with all the books? How many of you have lots of books that you haven't read ever, but you got them? Or you have lots of books that you're holding on to for sentimental reason because you just loved reading that Danielle Still book when you were a certain age and you don't want to let go of it. This is not a testament of my experience. I'm just offering it up. Um,
My
so,
testament is catalogs.
oh, catalogs. Okay. So, so there can be a space on your bookshelves for books and catalogs if you haven't if the
All
date
right?
has passed a couple months, I'll say 3 months for your catalogs. Let them go. And
Hmm.
also for magazines and catalogs. Newspapers, they're done as soon as the day is over. So at most, I would say keep newspapers for a week. If you are still using paper newspapers and not online. So most of us have gone to online anymore. Um, let's see. So in a space that might be smaller, it is a really helpful idea um, to have organizational bins um, or or pieces that help organize what you have. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like, well, like Suzanne was saying earlier, she was talking about baskets. Now, there are those wonderful little tote baskets that you can put things in, and you can not just throw them in, but have a reason for each tote. Maybe you have a tote for first aid items. Maybe you have a specific tote for beauty products. Maybe you have a tote for, oh, I don't know, your magazines that you'll go through after a month or two. Um, but they can be stacked very easily because they're not huge and they won't be really heavy. Um, and you can get fairly inexpensive, but not cheap looking items to help with storage. You know, places like Walmart, Dollar Store. Um, I know there are other dollar related businesses out there. I am not
Right.
endorsed by any of them, but I do endorse them. Um, Dollar General is the one around where I am that I go to. But yeah, you can find bookcases that you can store not just books and papers and things like that on, but I have one that I keep in my closet. I keep my linens on. So I put them on a plastic storage bookcase.
Mhm.
And and it was very helpful because I get the things off the floor. They're not just wadded up in a corner. I've got them folded. I know nobody knows how to fold a fitted sheet, but it is possible. Or, or you can just
uh,
nicely tumble. We'll do a tutorial on that another time. But
yeah, we
our
will.
time can be better spent elsewhere. It's
One
not
of the
important.
things that I like,
Tell me.
if I could do it, is one of these hanging things. I may not be able to tell you, but what it is there's a section that hangs on your closet and has vertical spaces to put some of the things like your towels, like your
Oh, okay. Right, right.
sweatshirt. I
Yeah,
was trying to show you, but my background wasn't allowing it.
right, right. Yes. So have fun sometime, go and look, just go on a little adventure and go look at some of the options that you might have for storage at different stores and think about what you would like your space to look like. What could be used in your closet? What could be used on your closet rod that helps with storage, which Suzanne was talking about such an item. What can be used with bookcases you already have? What could be used on your counter or in your cupboards that would help just organize and keep things a little more tidy? Um,
Oh,
yeah,
may I add? May I add?
yes, of course.
Unless you're a baker, but you do like to bake, you don't need the bun pan, the angel food pan, the everything pans. They can go into a storage tote out in your garage or the
Absolutely.
nearby storage. And let's say you only bake cookies at Christmas time. Why do you want them in July in your house? Really
Right.
think about the times of the year you might use that tote. You pick up the tote, you bring it in your house, you use it, and then you take it back out again. It doesn't mean
Exactly.
you have
Yeah,
to have it in your house.
just like your Christmas ornaments. Or
Ah,
decorations, right? Most of us have some kind of tote, if you will, that houses our holiday decorations for whatever season. I grew up with a mother who had decorations for every single holiday and a lot of them. And so we actually had a box marked for every season, every possible holiday, and they were filled with items that she hung up and used. I would not have, so I would have gotten rid of them after after a year of not using them. But that's what worked for her, and that's what I witnessed. Um, I know
oh,
for me,
adding
I have.
into that idea, if you don't mind, when the tote's full, you're done shopping.
Oh,
If you
what a
must
great
have
idea!
those items, and
Hmm.
I do, I have one for just like Jennifer was talking about. I am similar to that, but I have stopped shopping. The totes are full. Don't buy another tote.
You can use those same things for the next time that season rolls around. Absolutely. I have one small box that has holiday specific decorations in it that I made. I was so I was so traumatized by my mother's incessant decorating that when I was a kid that I was like, as an adult, no decorating. It's okay that it's Halloween. people are decorating for it, I'll enjoy that. So that is a wonderful way to decorate as well. Enjoy everybody else's.
Vicarious decorating, yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, how many towels is enough?
Mm.
How many pairs of sheets is enough? How many pillows are enough? It is so easy for us to get new items and just pile on top of what we already had. So then we end up with 8 pillows for one person who lives in your home.
Hmm.
I might need to take care of some of my pillows. I have a few too many. And it's for
I'm,
exactly that reason.
I'm
I
glad you brought that up because you know what? None of us are perfect. And I keep telling you, ladies, this. It's going to be a growing process. It's not a one and done. It's not a one and done. You have to periodically look around your house and say, I really don't use that anymore. Out the door it goes.
yeah, yeah. I'm not sure if this will who this will land for. This will identify with this. My mom did teach me something a couple of years ago. I use a rolling walker that has a seat on it. Um, I am not interested in being hung up on my on conditions around what's up with my body, but I will say that something that is challenging for me is to make sure that things get put in the right place sometimes. And my mom was helping me after surgery, and she said, and I didn't take it the way she meant, but she said, if you're not going to do it now, when are you going to do it? In
Oh,
terms of, but she said, say that to yourself. And I'm like, I don't think I like this. And I felt judged. But I took that on finally, and I'd look at an item that's somewhere that I could take with me. And I mentioned my walker because I use my walker seat as, something that helps me move things from one room to another. Yep. So I look at it and I'm like, okay, if not now, when? Like, when is that going to get taken care of?
mm-hmm.
So I think, if as long as we say that to ourselves without judgment or just with grace and say, okay, if I don't do this now, if I don't move this right now because I'm headed to that room where this belongs, when will I actually do it? So
Yeah.
if you're headed there, take something with you that belongs there. You've got
I
a
would,
cup by the couch. Well, I'm headed to the kitchen. The cup isn't that comfortable all by itself. It doesn't have feeling, so it doesn't need to stay there. You can take it into your kitchen with you. It might be lonely, so take it. It needs to go with the other dishes. So just take it with you when you go there. And then we take care of today, and tomorrow takes care of itself, which is a
which
wonderful adage.
reminds me, when you do laundry,
Mhm.
ladies, when you do laundry, do not get in bed with your laundry.
Oh, yes.
Plan time while you're watching your favorite TV show, while you're listening to your favorite book on tape, while you're listening to your favorite song.
Mhm.
Before you go to bed, fold your laundry, put it away. Because what will happen is if you don't do that and you find yourself sleeping with your laundry, you're going to do two things. You're going to wash that laundry again
Yes.
because you don't like the way it looks. And now you'll have double laundry because anything that you wore between the times you did the laundry and now is even double. So find yourself a way. Audible is wonderful. Put on a good book on tape and listen to it. Put on your favorite playlist. Challenge yourself. Can I get the laundry folded before the playlist is done? I like to
Oh,
play that trick with myself.
that's a great trick. I love that, Suzanne. Yeah, I find for myself, I need, and it's helpful, I have a chair, a higher chair, not quite a bar stool chair, not that high, not counter level, but lower, so that I could sit on it and fold.
Mm.
So find what's going to help you take care of your environment. If it is
Mm.
having a chair, taking a chair with you into another room to help you organize things, fold clothing, get ready to move it into back to where it belongs. Wherever it helps you to take care of the folding, do it there. In front of the TV, on the coffee table, on if you have an island in your kitchen, there, on your bed, that's fine, but fold it as Suzanne was saying and put it away. Um, yeah, and these are things that, little by little, they can help you feel like you're taking control over your own home, your own space, and then there's a sense of pride about doing that for yourself. And
And
I
as
did
Jen,
this.
yeah, exactly. And I'm looking at your ficus tree, and I'm like, ladies, unless you get the green thumb, silk, silk, because a lot of us forget to water our plants. Unless you're really
Oh,
into gardening, enjoy the outdoors, nature, let it
hmm,
be. I said, if you're gonna try and bring plants into your home, but we get hyper focused on our interests, and then the poor plant's gonna die.
right, right.
And that's the
Absolutely.
same thing with animals. Really be very vigilant. And that's a big thing. Well, Jennifer and I have cats. One cat, not six cats. And Lynn and I talked about this the other day. One animal is a support animal. Six animals is a lot to clean up your house with. So we gotta keep in mind, and some of you are moms. Think of all the toys you have. Maybe you want to put four toys out at a time. These are just some of the different things that, on top of what Jennifer was talking about, if you're moving into a house and you have a pet or you have a child, you gotta really kind of watch their tendencies of how much they leave out. Put it
Right.
up on a high closet and say, this is the four for the week. Next week,
Right, right,
another
right.
four.
Yep. That's what I have to do with my boy Enzo. He will just take everything and drag it out to all corners of the apartment. I don't have a large apartment. It's barely big enough for the two of us because his personality is huge. So, so I know that while I live in this space, that it is only going to be able to contain him, to have him live here too. I do dream of a day where I have more bedrooms. I have a larger floor space, a larger living area, and I'll get him a friend. But be mindful of the space that you are in and what really is is realistic for for your pets. Um,
Mm.
yeah.
Jennifer, I want to say this has been very helpful. There may be a time that I can think of in the future. Would you be willing to come back if I think of other options where I know you could certainly be a help, such as routines or schedules? That might be
Absolutely.
another
Yeah.
time I'd love to have you come back because I think you've been very informative.
Well, thank you. And thank you for having me. It has been an honor and joy to be here. And I hope that you all walk away with a couple of tidbits of maybe some things you could try. I certainly was not offering all of this for you to do all at once. Please know that. So just try something out, see what works for you.
Well, the
And
nice thing is with it being on YouTube,
mm,
on the Aspie Bridge channel, try something one week, see how it works. Come back to the video next week, try another task. That's why I love having this podcast actually on video because now you can come back to it regularly and say, yeah, I gotta do that. Or I'm about to move. How did I say to move? Oh, yeah, that's right.
right, right. Well,
So,
Suzanne, I think I'm just so honored to be part of this bridge building journey with you, and I would love to work with any of your clients, any of your ladies, if they would like a little bit of one-on-one time. I know that through your organization that is a possibility, and I would love to offer, as is offered through
Bridge builders.
Bridge
Yeah.
Builders, two, so they're all one-on-one times, but two half-hour sessions and a 1 hour session. So 2 hours total. So we would spend, I just took all the words out of your mouth, didn't I?
No,
So,
no, keep
so
going. This is
we
great.
spend the first time that we set a meeting together, just
The three of
talking
us
about,
can get together and yep.
yeah, yeah, right, right. But the first time we actually meet, we would talk about what your goals are. What specific goal do you have, and how can I help? I then create a plan for you based on how we communicated and what you shared with me, and I offer that up to you. And we meet again to go over that together and make sure you understand what that is. And you would be welcome to check in with me if with questions in between, but then we have a 1 hour session at the end to actually see what you've done, what wonderful work you've done for yourself in your home based
Oh,
on based on what we have come up with together. And you can show it to me on video, on your phone, on a laptop. What are they called? iPads, notebooks. I know
no,
what they're called. I just don't have one.
FaceTime or
Right,
Google
right, right.
Duo. Yeah.
So then, so that you could show me what you've done and show me with pride all that you accomplished, and I would be so happy to walk alongside you while you work on that for yourself.
Oh, Jennifer, that's gonna be great for them. They're gonna like that because I can already think of two other times I might need you to come back and help them if you're willing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would love that. So, Suzanne,
Yes,
thank
this
you
is
so much for
wonderful.
having me.
Oh, I love having you, and it's been a pleasure to have you be part of my team.
Thank you.
So, everyone, you've heard Jennifer's wonderful words of wisdom on how to keep your home organized and just peaceful. And when we find that we get a little bit out of practice, it's time to say, okay, I need to freeze on my special interests and get back to where my peace and my stress free living is. And that's so important. And as you heard, we will have Jennifer come back for other parts of the home because she is my hearth and home. She is here to help make your lives easier once you do move into that individual living so that you don't have to spend your money on a maid. Because I know you can do it and you do too. So I want to tell you that next week I want to talk to you, and hopefully, I will have a guest. I'm still rounding him up, as many of these guests seem to be having other agendas on a Tuesday morning. So, I am working on rounding someone up who will help you understand why I believe the tiny house movement is a good answer for us. It allows us to have our own spaces and yet be in a community. So let's talk about that next week, shall we? And for now, I'm signing off on the Aspie Bridge. I hope you'll come back again and again to watch some of the older videos if you find a special topic that is challenging to you, or keep up to date with the new live ones. I'd love to have you come visit us every week, Tuesday at 11. Thank you so much. And that's Central Time, by the way. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, and goodbye.